All right. I think I'm live. I could have been live this whole time. I'm not sure. I'm using this new software again today, and clearly I can't even tell if I've gone live. So here we are, another vegan cooking demo, super great recipe. And I am trying this new software again because it has really cool dual screens that I can try. But before we get into any technical difficulties, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and even like this video. And then after you watch it, if you like the recipe, go ahead and share it with your friends. Today, I am making something I have never made before from the Oh She Glows for Dinner cookbook. And it's not really, it seems like more of a side dish, but you can make a lot of it and eat it as a full dish. And I just thought the picture was so pretty that I wanted to make these little potato stacks, and they have some different kind of pesto on them. So I think actually my aunt or my dad got me this book, and it is pretty awesome. We've made a few things out of it already. So that is what we are making today. Potato stacks with broccoli pesto. So now I told you that I have my dual camera, so I'm going to show you how that works, and it's so cool. So I have my face camera for when I want to talk to you, and then if I want to switch to a shot of the counter and all the food, I just click a button, and now you can see my counter and all my food. So I think that's super awesome. It's way easier because before I was like moving my camera, and I think even one time my camera almost fell into a pot of hot food, which is not good. So this is awesome. We're gonna get started on this. So the first thing you need, which you should prepare first, is your potatoes. So what you want to do is preheat your oven to 425, and then we're gonna make these little crispy potato stacks. So you just cut them about 3/4 of an inch high, little bit of oil, salt and pepper, and of course I put some nutritional yeast. And you want to bake them at 425 for like 25 to 35 minutes, however sort of crispy and soft you want them. So obviously I taste tested these and they're crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. Perfect. So get these ready. And when you eat it, you can probably eat it cold, which I'm going to do. Probably tastes just as good, or you can eat them kind of warm. But I don't think you would want to have them super hot because the toppings we're going to put on are a little bit fresh and a little bit cold. So you don't want to put that on a steaming hot potato. So that is the first step. Get that done. Get that in the oven. Oh, and it was my aunt Trudy that gave me that book, so thank you. So now we're going to prepare the other stuff, which is the pesto. So this pesto is a little bit different because it does have some sun-dried tomatoes, and we are using broccoli and actually pumpkin seeds for the nuts. So I think normal pesto is just mostly basil, pine nuts, and cheese. So this is going to be a little bit different. And pumpkin seeds are really awesome. I toasted these in a pan because I bought them raw. But pumpkin seeds have some of the highest protein value, I think, of most foods actually. So 1 tablespoon, I don't have a tablespoon to show you, but 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds has just over 1 gram of protein. So that's pretty good for a small little piece, little handful of pumpkin seeds. You have a whole gram of protein. So this is going to be awesome. So here we go. So you're going to need a mini food processor. If you have a big one, that's fine, or a Vitamix, but I would avoid using one of the tall bullet blenders because things will just get bogged down. So I actually have to find my recipe page so I can remember the order. So what we're going to do is add the pumpkin seeds in there. So these, again, this is 5 tablespoons of toasted or roasted pumpkin seeds. So we're going to add that in. And then we have 5 glorious tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And I also put parsley in here, and I put some of my garlic seasoning that I like. So whatever you like, you can put whatever seasonings you like. So we're going to add that in there. Oh, and I forgot these precious pumpkin seeds. All right, let's get everything in there. And then the next thing we're gonna have is garlic and tons of it. So we've got 5 cloves of garlic. You can put more if you want. So let's get that in there. Da-da-da. And then we also have 5 tablespoons of lemon juice. So if you have fresh lemon juice, that is way better, but I just have the bottled stuff, so we're gonna pour that in there. And then the next thing that we're gonna do is our sun-dried tomatoes. So if you are a regular, you know that I actually get the sun-dried tomatoes that are dry in a bag, and then I just put them in boiling water. So the recipe originally calls for the oil kind. I like to cut back on my oil, I just did it in water. So we're just gonna snip those up into the food processor and put a little bit of the water. And remember, keep the water because you get that awesome flavor from the sun-dried tomatoes. So I'm just gonna use a pair of scissors that I'll clean after. Let's chop those up. And it doesn't matter if a little bit of the liquid comes. Actually, they left the stem on that tomato. I'm gonna cut that off. You want to eat the stem. All right, so let's get those chopped up in there. And I'm gonna put a teeny tiny bit, just a couple of little spoonfuls of the liquid in there because I'm really worried about the amount of liquid that we're gonna have in here. I don't want to make it too watery, right? Because this is supposed to be something that's sort of thick and delicious. You don't want your pesto to be watery. So, last ingredient, like I said, broccoli. So this is 2 cups of broccoli. And what I did was I blanched them. So blanching them just keeps all the nutrients in and it makes them a little bit softer so that we can mulch them up. If we put raw broccoli, I think it would get really crazy. So again, you boil them. To blanch something, you boil it or bring the water to a boil. Goodness gracious. And then I put these in for about 1.5 minutes and then took them out of the hot water and rinsed them immediately in cold water, and it just makes it a little bit softer. So we're gonna put those in, and I have a feeling because I have a teeny tiny blender, we might have to do this in batches, but let's see. Let's see how much we can mash in here. No, we might be able to get it all. Let's try. Let's just go for it and see if my food processor explodes. Okay. Put that off to the side and we'll get our lid on here. And you guys know the drill. This is going to be loud. It happens all the time on this channel. Let's see how we can mash this down a little bit first. Let's just get the volume down. And by volume, I mean the volume of the food. So I just mulched that down a little bit. We have a ways to go, but I just wanted to get that in there. And the liquid level is looking okay, so I'm going to put actually a little bit of olive oil. So the recipe calls for some olive oil, but I'm just going to put it in as I need it. I'm not going to dump it all in. So maybe half a tablespoon to start. And I forgot my most important ingredient is basil. So the original recipe did not call for basil. It called for fresh parsley, but I really wanted to have something with that traditional pesto flavor. So this is sort of just a little handful of basil from our basil plant. And I'm going to mash that in there. Just shove it in. Okay. So that'll just give us a bit of a basil flavor without having to use 65 pounds of basil. We just want to use that. So let's get started on this. Look at that. So again, this is going to take a little bit till it gets down to a nice puree. It's still going to be a little bit chunky, but you want to get all the pieces mashed together, especially those pumpkin seeds, which some people call pepitas. Oh my Atlanta. Okay, let's see how fast we can get this going here. Waiting for the blender. Messy and loud. Just the way I like it. I don't know if that's an appropriate thing to say. So we've got, you could leave it like this. So we have a nice sort of chunky texture going on there. But I am going to, because we are actually eating this, and this is not for demo purposes, I'm going to go a little bit longer, and I apologize for the loud, boring noises. All right, I think I'm satisfied with this. Yeah, this is a little bit better. So we have a little bit better of a texture for in my books, and I didn't put too much oil in, and you can still see there is a lot of water content in here. So I imagine if you kept it overnight, it's going to probably pool some water. So this is a really good texture. This can be used as a dip. If you had like cheese and crackers, a little bit of like that BioLife vegan cheese and crackers. And we're going to put it on potatoes. You could probably put it on pasta if you blended it up a lot more. So that is the pesto recipe. And I like it because you're using broccoli to bulk it up. You don't have to use 17 cups of basil. And you have that nutritional yeast for the little bit of cheesy flavor, so you don't have to go and buy, vegan Parmesan or something. And pumpkin seeds are also really economical because I find that pine nuts are pretty expensive, so we don't really buy them all that much. I'm just going to wipe my counter, and we are going to put this together, and I'm going to eat it. You guys can't eat it right now, but I'm going to eat it. So what we need for the toppings. So originally on the recipe, there's tomato, cucumber, and some sprouts. I don't have sprouts, and I didn't feel like cutting up cucumber. So we have our nice fancy plate. Oh, and somebody's saying that the loud noises actually mute out, which makes me so happy because that's one thing about live cooking demos and not edited videos is that you have to deal with all the loud noise. So one last thing I'm going to show you for prep. So we have our potatoes. We have our nice fancy plate, which I think my aunt also gave me. And then for the toppings, I've chosen to do some sliced tomato, some chopped red onion, and I saved a little of the basil for a topper. And then my favorite as well is this PC balsamic glaze. So this is a thick glaze, and I really love this stuff. I put it on a lot of stuff. So let's do this. Right, so I'll do 2, because who can just eat 1? So there we go. And then we're going to put a little bit of the pesto on here. I'm excited to eat this because I've never made this yet. It is very thick. So you can get quite a lot on there, whatever you end up wanting to fit in your mouth. And then you put your tomato slice on top. And then we're going to do a little bit of our onion. I love red onion. And red onion raw is so good for you. Lots of nutrients in there. The other thing that you can do this with actually is fresh peas. That is used for pesto sometimes as well. And now we get to squirt on the thing, the glaze. Look at that. Look at that fanciness. And then we're going to put, so I always say this too, when you're making food, some people sort of view food as just fuel for your body. You got to eat it. But I always say you eat with your eyes and your nose and everything. So you want everything to smell good. You want all the different flavors, sweet, sour, savory, all that stuff in one dish. And you want it to look good. Even if it's just you eating it alone in your kitchen, don't just slop it in the bowl. Try to make it look good, and it will make your dish taste even better. That's my tip. All right, let's go back here. So we have our little thing there. And then look at that beauty. What? It's amazing, and it smells amazing. It smells amazing. So this camera doesn't have as cool colors as the other camera, but you can see that, and I love the look of the glaze on there. So now I'm gonna try it. So you can probably eat this with a knife and a fork, but I'm not gonna. I'm so excited. And actually, I just thought of this. This would be really good. I made it on a video a few weeks ago. Some vegan bacon with coconut shreds, and I think that would be delicious on top of this as well. Or on a piece of toast for breakfast. Ooh, that's what I'm gonna have tomorrow for breakfast. Okay, shut up and eat. Mmm. 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 Oh wow. That is a lot of flavors all at once. So I really got punched with the garlic and basil, which is fine. I love garlic and basil. And then I got the balsamic vinegar, it's so sweet, and the red onions. Look at that. Oh my goodness. You don't taste like hardly any broccoli at all. So actually, if you were trying to feed someone who didn't really like broccoli, if you fed this to them, you would get that broccoli in them. And we all know broccoli is super, super nutritious and good for you. Cruciferous vegetable. Mmm. Falling apart. That's so good. The potato's pretty good too. Nice and salty. But I would love that on a piece of toast. And again with the vegan bacon. I think that's the first taste test where I ate the whole thing in front of you. I couldn't help it. So good. So that is it. Super short cooking demo. Easy cooking time. I believe you could probably even make the potatoes in advance and crisp them up in like a toaster oven or something real quick. You can use the pesto as a dip. Crackers and cheese. You can put it on toast. You can put it, probably even chuck it onto a salad. You could thin it out and make a salad dressing. Another really great recipe that I love where you can stretch it into multiple different meals. That's always the best recipe. And it was super easy, super cheap, vegan, healthy, delicious, flavorful, nutritious. I could go on, but I won't. So thank you so much for watching. I noticed all my regulars in the chat. If I didn't respond to you or anything, hello, hi. I'm responding to you now. But please, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Please share my videos with anybody you think might be interested in a quick, delicious recipe. And if you have time to stick around and watch another video, that would be amazing because it will help the YouTube algorithm think that my channel is cool and it will show it to more people. So I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you for joining every week. So try this recipe and let me know how it goes. If you have a suggestion for a recipe, also tell me. And if you haven't, I might have said this like 5 times now, subscribe to my channel, please. That's it. Bye. Bye. Thanks for enjoying.